At Vinton County National Bank, we believe in supporting the areas where we live and work. Now, we'd like to honor those who also serve our communities. Our new Community Champions account is especially for first responders, veterans, active military, and anyone employed in the fields of healthcare or education. This account offers rewards, discounts, and other benefits to those who give so much to others. Vinton County National Bank, rewarding those who serve.
Would you like to work closer to home, save money on gas, and be rewarded for your hard work and attendance? Then Bellisio Foods is looking for you. That's right, Bellisio Foods is now hiring for multiple positions and shifts with great employee benefits, an on-site health clinic, competitive wages, and advancement opportunities. Bellisio Foods is a company that truly values their employees. Apply online at belisiofoods.com/careers.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the morning show right here on Main Street TV, where I have two awesome guests with me this morning, and we are going to talk about Girl Scout stuff and some really cool projects that you guys are working on. So welcome.
Oh, my name is Peyton.
And my name's Zoe.
Okay. They're acting all nervous and stuff, and they're really not. So Peyton and Zoe, you guys are from where?
Our troop is based in Hamden, and so we do meetings over in Hamden and MacArthur.
Okay.
A bunch of stuff over there.
Okay. About how many people are in your Girl Scout troop?
A lot.
I don't know. I'd say like 25, 30, something like that.
Okay, that's really cool. No?
They really have a sister troop. So
Oh.
Together there's 29 of them.
Okay, together there's 29.
Their
Okay.
troop has 15.
Okay. All right. They just know how many people show up at meetings and stuff.
Yeah.
So, all right. So you guys are actually Girl Scouts because how old are you?
I'm 14.
I'm 12.
Okay. So we were talking off the air about like kind of the ranks of Girl Scouts and I assume you're a mom. No. Troop leader. Troop leader over here was talking about, so she and I must be around the same age because we're old, and we were talking about the fact that all of these different things didn't exist when, because we're old. And she's like, speak for yourself. But no, so let's talk about like the different ranks of Girl Scout now, because it's like, there's like daisies and stuff, and I didn't even know that existed.
There's a lot.
Okay, so could you kind of explain some of that?
Yeah. So the first rank is daisies, which is when they're about kindergarten, and I think it's through first grade, kindergarten and first. And then after that, there's brownies, which is second through third, and then juniors is fourth and fifth.
Okay.
And then the cadets, which is what we are, that goes all the way through like 6th to 8th.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then how long can you be in Girl Scouts?
Technically, you can be in it for as long as you're an adult, like for the rest of your life if you want to, because you can register as a volunteer.
Oh, okay.
And do all that stuff.
Love that. That's fun. Well, very good. So you girls are working on something really cool, and you were talking about a silver project. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can you explain that a little bit?
We're starting a hummingbird program at Lake Elma. There's one at Lake Hope, but we are starting one at Lake Elma.
Okay. And why is that important?
Hummingbirds are pollinators, and like you need pollinators. And also the population of hummingbirds has kind of went down.
Do you know why?
There's not a lot of reasons for it. It could be predators. There's a lot of reasons because sometimes they can't get food. It's just a lot of reasons, and we want to just keep that population up.
Okay.
And they don't lay their eggs often, so they already don't have a very high population. So if we continue feeding them, they'll come back. And
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, that's very good. So what gave you all this idea? Are you working on this project together?
yes.
Okay. So what gave you the idea?
So Lake Hope has a really good program, and a lot of people know about it. But Lake Alma has, before we started it, had no program. And when people go for hummingbirds, they obviously have to drive all the way to Lake Hope, which is not close. And so we thought if we start one in Lake Alma, we could bring hummingbirds to Lake Alma and create one closer, and one hopefully as good as Lake Hope eventually.
Love that. And
Lake Alma didn't have a naturalist until last year.
oh, Lake Alma didn't have a naturalist until last year. Very good. Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad they do now. That's so good. Okay. So what, so this is silver project. What does that mean?
It's the second best. There's bronze, silver, and gold. And we're working on our silver award, which you can do more than one person on that. Like, you can go from one person to 4 people. And with your gold award, only one person can work on it.
Okay. So you teamed up for this one.
Yes.
So what'd you do for your bronze?
To do your bronze, you have to be a junior, and you don't have to work on it, but you just like to. I didn't get to work on mine because I just couldn't, and I don't know if Peyton did or not.
I didn't do mine.
Oh, so you just went straight to the silver then?
Yes, you have to be a certain age to do these.
Okay.
Like, you have to be a junior to do your bronze. You have to be a cadet to do your silver, and then you have to be in high school to do your gold.
Okay, very good. All right, back to the hummingbirds. So what have you found out about hummingbirds?
A lot.
Fill us in. Just know that I know nothing about hummingbirds and that our viewers know nothing about hummingbirds. So let's get nerdy and talk about hummingbirds for a minute.
Maybe more than a minute.
That's good. We have an hour, so let's go.
Let me tell you about
Let me just tell you about some
More
hummingbirds.
than a minute.
No, please do.
So we've been doing a lot of research, obviously, to learn more while we're teaching, and we've obviously learned a lot more along the way from the naturalists at Lake Hope and the naturalists over at Lake Alma.
Okay.
So some of the things we've learned has been that when hummingbirds migrate, they're the smallest birds to migrate in
Look how cute.
so tiny.
That's actually one from ours.
From your project?
Yes, that's one
good.
of the feeders over at Lake Alma with one of the hummingbirds there.
Okay.
We have at least 4 over there.
No, we have 7.
7? Okay. Well, at least 4.
You all are both correct on that. Okay, so back to hummingbirds. Let's talk about them.
So we've figured out that hummingbirds, they migrate down to Mexico when it gets cold over here.
Oh, they do?
Mhm. And sometimes when they
They're
migrate,
so little. How do they get there?
they flap their wings really fast in short amounts of time. Like, they can flap their wings 60 times per second. So, and they can travel, I think, 500 miles at a time, like, without stopping.
Okay.
Which is
Wow.
a lot because hummingbirds need to eat every 10 to 15 minutes. So imagine how fast they're actually going. If they can go that far in like 10 minutes.
Uh-huh.
So they can go really fast. But when they migrate down to Mexico, when they come back up, when it gets cold over there, some of them get lost over the Gulf of Mexico. So ones that aren't native to areas, like, for example, one of the hummingbirds native to here is the ruby-throated. It's the most common. You see it all the time.
Okay.
Like, if you search up hummingbirds, that's probably what you'll find. And that's the native one here. But when they get lost over the Gulf of Mexico, they end up in different areas where they're not native to. Eventually, they come back to where they are, but they're not in the area they're native to. And Peyton could tell you which ones they are.
Okay.
There's like 5 different hummingbirds that can be found in Ohio. There's ruby-throated, which is the most common.
Okay.
Then also during migration season, you can see Anna's, Allen's, Rufus, and Calliope.
I wish we had You got all that, Dylan? Pictures of all of those?
Yeah,
No. No. So what are they? Do they look different?
Yes.
Yes.
The ruby-throated is the most easy to find because it's probably one of the most different ones, because some of the others are more orange, like the ands and some, I don't know which ones, I don't remember, but some of them are different colors. Like some of them have purple around their chest,
Okay.
and some of them have like red and orange.
Well, they move so fast, it's hard to tell who's what.
See,
Aw.
yeah, that's one of the ruby-throated.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So is it green on its back, or is that just the picture?
They have iridescent feathers, so
Okay.
it's mainly like green, sort of.
Okay.
Not completely green, but like.
And then I
iridescent
assume that's red down there, and that's why they're called ruby-throated.
Well,
You can tell if they're male or female from their throats because males' throats are red and females' throats are white.
so
Oh,
that might be a female.
very good. Okay, so we're learning lots. So they have these really long beaks, and I assume that's because they can grab stuff out of the flowers, right?
Yes, in a way. Hummingbirds, they like to get their nectar from the nectar that they drink / eat from tubular plants. So, like a cardinal flower or a bunch of other things. Like, there's a lot of flowers that they like to get their nectar from. And they like to do this because they also eat bugs and feed them to your young. So when they get the nectar, the bugs and pollinators can't reach the back of this because their tongues are too curled and too thick. But since they have long, narrow beaks, it's really easy for them to reach the back of the nectar. in the
Okay.
plants.
So they have that advantage
Yes.
over the other birds. So, okay, I have seen this, whole big thing on Facebook, because everything that you read on Facebook is correct, about like people putting sugar water out for them or whatever, and then it like gives them diseases and stuff. Is that accurate, or is that just some kind of stupid thing on Facebook that people pass along?
I mean, it's kind of accurate, but in a way it's not. The reason these hummingbirds are getting issues when they feed them this nectar is because they most likely put red dye in it or buy it from the store. When you put red dye in it, the hummingbirds can't digest it, so that already causes issues. And then in their hatchlings or their babies, when they hatch, they are born with deformities, and it's just not very good because it isn't doing anything.
Why would people put red dye in it? Just so it looks good, or they think it attracts them or something?
They think it attracts them, but like they're attracted to like red and orange, but they think that adding red to it will attract them and stuff, but it can like not be good for them.
Well, red dye is not good for us. Why would it be good for hummingbirds, right? So what if you wanted to, I know James is a big bird guy. Do you have hummingbird feeders?
I do.
You do? And so let's see if he's doing it properly. If you were to feed your hummingbirds like in a feeder, what would you feed them? So you're saying don't buy stuff from the store?
No. The stuff from the store is not really worth anything when you can make it at home really easily.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And how? Tell us how to save our hummingbirds.
You can just use water and sugar. It's a 25% ratio.
Of sugar to water?
Yes.
25% sugar,
To
the rest water?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to sneeze. Sorry.
Bless you.
I must be allergic to hummingbirds. No, I'm just kidding about that. So, James, are you doing that properly?
Yep.
He says he is.
4 cups water. 1
Oh.
cup sugar.
Thanks.
No dye.
Okay, no dye. You're not doing red, right? Okay, good. Okay.
Get a pretty feeder. Doesn't
Exactly.
look red.
Yeah, because a lot of the feeders are red, so you
Yeah.
don't need to put.
The feeders
red
are
dye
already
in it.
red. You don't need to make the food red. They don't care what it looks like. They just care that it's their food.
Yeah.
All right, I have a question.
James has a question.
How do you keep ants off your hummingbird
Oh.
feeder?
Oh, how do you keep ants off the hummingbird feeder?
We have ant moats on ours, which it's like that one little red thing, and you put like water at the top of it, and it helps with ants not getting in it because ants are attracted to yellow, and there's a lot of, like, the flowers on hummingbird feeders are normally yellow.
Okay.
The sweet smell.
So do the hummingbird feeders come with that, or is that something that you add extra?
Some of them do, some of them don't. It all kind of depends.
So an ant moat, is that
Yes.
what you said?
Yeah.
Ant moat.
And then it catches the ants?
Yeah. It's
And it
kind-
doesn't let them into the...
Most of them kind of just look like a cup, like a small little cup, and you just fill it with water, and so the ants won't be able to get into it. And
Gotcha. Okay. Now you know. Did you know that, James?
I didn't know that was a thing. I did not have one.
Well, you better get on Amazon and get you an ant moat.
I'll look for it.
Okay. We will let you know if he finds one. But okay, so what are we doing? What are you all doing at Lake Alma to help with the hummingbirds? What are you doing now? What's your goal for the future? Because this isn't going to be like a 5-minute project. This is going to be something that you hope, I would think, lasts forever.
yeah.
Okay.
So we've been holding programs there and telling people about hummingbirds, and then telling them how we can help keep hummingbirds there, and a bunch of stuff like that.
Okay.
We've been telling them what flowers to plant and how to set up your feeders and that type of stuff.
Okay. So tell our viewers.
Oh, so some flowers that you can set up at our nature center. We have 3 flowers, but there's like 2 of each one.
Uh-huh.
And then we have some that we haven't, one that we haven't planted yet. We have cardinal flowers, scarlet sage,
Bee balm.
bee balm. And
Okay.
then we're going to plant trumpet vines.
Trumpet vines. Okay.
Yes.
All right. And are those kind of the main ones that attract or that help hummingbirds?
There's not really any main. There's a lot of tubular flowers, and it's quite easy to find red ones because they're attracted to stuff like petunias, even though they're not tube shaped. They're still red, so hummingbirds like that.
Okay.
So there's a lot of red flowers that they probably like.
Now they make hummingbird plants, right? Hummingbird. Yeah.
Mhm.
Hummingbird bush. Or wait, no, that's butterfly bushes.
Yeah.
Butterfly bushes. But I'll bet they like those too. I have so I planted 3 hibiscus in my landscape this year, and they're red, and the hummingbirds have been coming and
Yeah, they like
And
hibiscus.
getting them.
Get them out.
yeah. So I'm excited about that because hopefully my kitties don't get them. So no, I have a funny story for you guys. So this has happened a couple times at my house. So a hummingbird will get into my garage.
Mhm.
And I'm like, oh no, I have to save the hummingbird. And number 2, they are hard to catch because they are fast little boogers. So you almost have to wait till they get tired.
Which that takes a bit.
It takes a while. But so yeah, I fashioned a coat hanger / Kroger bag with duct tape as a net and was running around the garage trying to catch the hummingbird to save it, but eventually caught it. So
That's good.
yes, because it's important because they are. So can you explain why pollinators are important? This is why we don't kill honeybees too.
Yeah. Pollinators, the more they pollinate and gum the flowers, the more they spread the pollen and help grow the flowers and keep stuff alive. Like, for example, some fruits and a bunch of other stuff that we need.
Yeah, we need food
Yes.
and we need them to pollinate to grow our food.
Yes.
Yeah. Very good. Okay. All right. So, if people want to go up to Lake Alma and kind of see what you girls are up to, where would they go?
So you go by the park. There's a small building behind the park, kind of,
Okay.
and it has nature center on it.
Okay.
I mean, it's very small, but you should see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. And if people want to come to one of your discussions or, learn more, how do they find out about that?
So we hold programs, and normally we post the programs for the week or upcoming programs on our Facebook page.
Okay, what's that?
You can just search up Lake Alma Hummingbird Project.
Okay.
Easy
enough.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to find.
Dylan will put that up there too.
And we also and we're having one a program tonight at 6,
Oh,
and then at Lake Alma, and another one on Saturday at 12.
okay, cool. And what could people expect? Do they need to bring things with them, or?
They need to bring chairs to sit because we don't have chairs here.
Aha. So BYOC. Bring your own chair. We got it. We got it. Okay. So did you girls bring me cookies?
No. There's no Burberry here. Just hummingbirds.
Yeah. Did you bring us a hummingbird to play with?
No.
So do you actually like get to meet the hummingbirds? Like, will they sit in your hand or anything, or are you just like
Well,
watch them from afar?
well, you can see them, but we haven't started feeding them yet because they aren't ready. We haven't started hand feeding them because they ain't ready. We're trying to condition them, like just be around them so they can get used to people. We've tried to hand feed them before, but we didn't get any luck. They've came really close, but they haven't.
They're almost ready.
Yeah, they'll get to trust in you. I'm sure they know that you're out to help them, and that's important.
Yeah.
So what is there anything out there besides the red dye that people should maybe don't know? They're trying to help, but they shouldn't be doing.
People a lot of times place their feeders too far apart, which makes it really difficult for hummingbirds because they need to eat every 10 to 15 minutes. So if the feeders are too far apart, they can't get to their food. And so it's really an issue for that.
Okay, so if you were to put like a hummingbird feeder or 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever at your house, is there a particular location that's better, like facing a certain direction or anything like that?
Not really. It's kind of just if there's a hummingbird
Out of the cat's reach?
Yeah, that's high up because then it's easier for them to reach because hummingbirds actually can't walk. They can only just sit up on the hummingbird feeders and like perch. They can't really jump down. They can only,
like birds where they hop around
Yes.
on the ground and stuff. Hummingbirds don't do that.
no, their legs
Oh.
are kind of just there for them to perch on stuff, which is why on most feeders you see little ledges on the side for them to stand and get the food.
Okay, so is there a particular hummingbird feeder that you girls would like suggest, like it should have these components versus some of the others? Because there's if you go to the store, there's like a million different ones.
Which ones are always empty at the lake?
There's a lot of we have small ones that are just red, and they're plastic, and they have and they hold a bunch of food. You can't really tell, so they just hold a lot. You need some that hold a lot at a time and don't leak, because if they leak, it gets sticky and everything.
Yeah, that makes sense. Then thus come the ants.
Yeah.
Okay, so and don't put the dye in your sugar water.
No.
Okay. And then so you're better off to just make your own sugar and water, 25% sugar and water, and let it be. Don't buy the stuff at the store. Okay, that makes sense. All right, is there anything else you wanted our viewers to know before we let you girls go?
When you're making the food, you don't want to boil the water because it doesn't really do anything. You can just
Stir it up.
Yeah. It might decrease the shelf life of the food.
Also, change it every few days because it can spoil from like the sun and stuff.
Okay. So we want to make sure that our hummingbirds are getting the best food possible for them. So when do they start migrating? When do they leave us?
They normally migrate around Halloween time, but it differs between the climate and all that type of stuff. One of the ways you can tell is if it's been like a week since you saw a last hummingbird at your feeder, then you can take them down.
Okay.
It kind of differs, but most of the time it's around Halloween time. And
yeah, I'd like to migrate around Halloween time too. Go somewhere warm. Do they have? What does a nest look like, and where do they typically build them?
Their nests are about golf ball size, so they're not big at all.
Oh, cute.
And they like to put their nests on the edge of woodland, so like edges of forests, and they like to put them on horizontal branches.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're only gone. Aw.
Hummingbirds can only lay eggs about 2 at a time, and like once or twice per year. So not many hummingbirds are born in general. So that's why the nests are so small, because the eggs are about jelly bean size or
Okay.
peanut M&M size.
Aw.
They're not big at all.
But they're so cute when they're born. Oh, look. I love it. They're so cute. Yes, they are about M&M size. It looks like, how funny. Thank you, Dylan. Look at him go. Well, cool. Is there anything else you wanted our viewers to know before you get out of here?
That's pretty much it, I think.
So come out, and what's your Facebook page again?
Lake Alma Hummingbird Project.
Okay. Very good. You have anything to say? Nope. Okay. No, I think what you girls are doing is so cool and so needed, and thank you for that, because you're helping not only the hummingbirds but our environment, and that's very important. And we need them to survive. So you're helping humankind as well. All right. Very good. Very good. So how do you get your award?
Okay. So first we had to submit a pre-approval to let the council know what project we were doing and if it was allowed, because there's some projects that aren't allowed to be done because they're just done so much.
Okay.
And it's just overused.
Yeah, I see.
You're not allowed to just build benches or stuff like that because it's just
Because everybody does that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So after you get it approved, you can actually begin, and then you have to submit after you. The deadline I think is August 15th for cadets.
Okay.
And we had to submit a report for after the thing, see how we did and that type of stuff.
Okay.
And answer a bunch of questions how
Sure.
it helped and that type of stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then take pictures and everything.
They have to do 50 hours. They have to put in 50 hours towards your project.
Oh, 50 hours.
Yes, 50
That's
hours
a lot.
each.
Yeah, good for you. I don't think that'll be hard to do,
It's not.
No.
considering you all have been hard at work at it already.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, very good. Well, we'll let you girls get out of here, and we appreciate you spending your morning with us and talking with us. And we've learned about hummingbirds. Did you find the ant moat?
Oh yeah.
You did?
Oh yeah.
James
Get
has
one.
James has found the ant moat. Okay, very good. All right, well, we'll let you all get out of here and go help some hummingbirds. All right. Okay, Dylan, if you want to do the weather forecast, we will. Thank you, girls. We will be back here in just a minute to talk about, the election. Thank y'all. Thanks. Okay, so actually, the rest of this week not looking too bad. Other than some rain tomorrow. But today should be a very pretty day with partly cloudy skies and highs around 84 degrees, lows of 65. For tomorrow on Thursday, pesky chance of rain comes into the forecast for the Ross County, Athens County fairs, but much better temperatures with highs around 81, lows of 61. Then on Friday, back up with the temps again, partly cloudy skies, highs of 86 and lows of 65. And then the weekend, well, of course, it's going to rain. But here, do you want to? We're switching the chairs out still. Okay. So speaking of the fairs, let's go over.
I thought you were going to say, speaking of rain, here's James.
Speaking of thunderstorms, here comes James. Here, I'll get all the 25 pages of the Ross County.
Okay, so
fair
today
thing.
is Wednesday, August 9th. So at the Athens County Fair, admission $10 a person over 2 years old. The gate is free for 12 and under per person over 2 years.
What was that?
I don't know. The way this is written doesn't
I
make
don't know.
sense. But It's Kids Day, and it is free for kids 12 and under. I think is what that's supposed to mean.
Okay.
The poultry show is today. The turkey show is today. Poultry horse show, the English and Western.
Western.
God,
Western.
Why can't I say that?
I don't know. It's not hard.
Western. Why can't I say that? Western.
Western. There you go.
Western.
There.
I swear to God, I swear I've never had trouble saying that before, and all of a sudden I'm physically incapable of saying it. Okay.
We'll just go with that.
Didn't know that.
What James said.
But if we skip ahead to tonight,
God, I hope there's not another Western in there.
At 6:00 is the Battle of the Bands.
Dylan, you're such a jerk.
I can say sesquicentennial better than I can say Western.
He's just cracking himself up over there. Anyway, go ahead.
At 7:00 is the koi drag racing at the grandstands, and from 11 to 1 a.m., all non-sale pigs are released.
Okay.
So does this mean they're just going to be up
they're just
till
letting
1
them
o'clock,
go.
letting pigs out into the
Run.
street?
You're
Run,
free.
babe, run! You're free. Don't go that way. That's the barbecue. No, away from the barbecue.
Yeah.
So that sounds exciting.
Okay. Yeah, and that's Athens County, right?
That's the Athens County Fair. All pigs will be released at 1 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Okay. All right. So moving on the other side to the Ross County Fair. I have to decipher this thing because it's a lot. So there's going to be an all-American petting zoo there all day today from 10 a.m. to close. Mike Bishop, the hypnotist, will be there today doing a couple of different shows. The Chillicothe High School Band will be performing at 1:30. Michael Felks tinsmithing show. What's a tinsmith?
I think he's making things out of tin, like a blacksmith, but with tin.
Okay, that's at 1:45. The All-American Lumberjack Show will be on the Midway at 3, and a couple times during the day. So all of these things will be kind of like rotating throughout the day. And then 6:30 p.m. in-step dance. And then 8 p.m. it just says YMCA. And then as far as the junior fair goes, today is what, Wednesday?
Today is Wednesday,
Okay.
August 9th.
Swine showmanship, market rabbit show, turkey move in and weigh in. They're not getting
Does it
released.
say what
but
time they release
It doesn't
the
say anything about
swine?
releasing them. Can you imagine a bunch of turkeys just running down 35? Okay. Market lamb show, breeding sheep show, and sheep showmanship, and then a beef show tonight at 8. So lots and lots of stuff going on also at the Ross County Fair. And then we have not mentioned this, and we need to. Dennis Reinhardt, I think, dropped this off. It's Clips for Kids. And basically, students in Jackson County schools will be able to go back to school with a brand new haircut thanks to Clips for Kids. It's an event sponsored by Indivisible Appalachian, Ohio, and offers free haircuts to students in pre-K through 12th grade. It will be held this coming Sunday from 1 to 4 at Christ Church of Jackson on Portsmouth Street next to the police station. It's also, they're also providing free school supplies, personal care items, and lice treatment kits to take home. Members of Christ Church of Jackson will provide hot dogs, chips, a drink, and dessert. Oh, that's good. Food, free school supplies,
Free haircut.
and a free haircut.
Sit there eating a hot dog while you're
While
getting
you're getting your haircut. No pre-registration is required. Students must arrive with freshly washed and dried hair. So make sure that you come like that. Indivisible Appalachian, Ohio is an organization that serves 7 southeastern Ohio counties with community outreach events such as assisting in food distribution, for our area. Clips for Kids, again, this coming Sunday, 1 to 4 at the Christ United, no, I'm sorry, it's not anymore. Christ Church of Jackson. Get it right, Jen.
Get it right, Jen.
And it doesn't mention this in here, but I know that there's a lot of local hairdressers and things that give up their time on Sunday when they normally wouldn't be working to help out with this organization and the kids and all of that. So if you need a free haircut, get on it.
Very cool.
Yep.
Very cool.
Very good.
Yep.
All right. So Ohio had a
special election.
A special election, and typically special elections are kind of like kissing your sister. Nobody cares and nobody votes. And
the turnout was much more than it was at the last last election we had.
This special election, the national news, as I gleaned this morning from watching some different stations, has made this whole thing about abortion. I'm not exactly sure. I understand the tie-in, but I don't understand that they're making this all about abortion. But that's what they're doing, and they're trying to make it that the public voted this way just because of how they all feel about abortion.
Well, the abortion issue will be on the ballot in November.
It will be, but again, we were talking about a separate issue here.
It is separate.
Which you and I tried and Pete Wilson tried to explain to people that this is not an abortion issue. But the national news is not helping with that situation. It's a much bigger
than that,
picture than that. But anyway, Ohio spoke pretty handily on the fact that they did not want to change the Constitution.
So statewide, 99% of the vote has been counted.
Okay.
This is according to the Columbus Dispatch. 3,059,440 votes cast. That is 57.01% no and 42.99% yes. We can break it down by county. So you can see there the counties that are in red are the counties that voted no, and the counties that are in blue are the counties that voted yes. I think it really shows you that's what a large part of our population lives in a fairly small area.
Yeah.
Geographically. That houses the vast majority of our population.
Yeah. Because you can see by the majority of the counties voted yes on this.
Sure.
But yet
the minority of the people.
Yeah. And I would have to assume that red county down in southeastern Ohio would be Athens County. Okay.
So here in Jackson, there were 5,727 votes cast. 60.19% voted yes. 39.81% voted no. If we scroll down here to Vinton County, so Vinton County, similar percentages, 2,529 votes cast, 62% voted yes, 38% voted no. We were talking off air about Gallia. Gallia County went even further into the yes, almost 70% at 69.5% voted yes in Gallia County, 30.5% voted no. That's a total of 5,059 votes. Let's look at Athens real quick, just since we mentioned them. So Athens swung the opposite way with 70.69% voting no.
70%?
Yeah, almost 71%.
Wow.
So that's 13,786 votes. I didn't realize that Athens County was that much more populated.
I didn't either.
Maybe just better voter turnout.
Yeah, maybe they get.
But here is one that I want to highlight. If you have ever said that your vote doesn't count, so this is Clark County. This is near Dayton.
Okay.
They had a total of 32,029 votes cast.
Okay.
16,015 voted no. 16,014 voted yes.
Shut up.
One vote.
See, and it happens all the time. And don't ever say your vote does not count.
Mm-hmm.
So, Did you get up to the high school to vote yesterday?
I voted in person at the high school. I had
did
no
I.
issues. Well, actually, so when I slid my thing into the thing, at first it didn't go. There's no arrow that tells you which way to scan it. Or if there is, I didn't see it. So I flipped it around and tried it the other way, and it went in just fine.
Okay.
But it sounds like somebody had a whole lot of trouble while you were there.
So, number one, can I just say some things about just the polling places in general?
You can.
Because I have some strong opinions about this. I went up to the high school. Number one, there's a lot of handicap, parking there, whatever.
Yes.
I thought, okay, this is really good because
they need a bigger sign pointing which direction to go.
Well, number one,
everybody drives
I drove around the whole
everybody
thing.
drives because you think it's like a roundabout and you're supposed to stay to the right, but you're not.
I did exactly the same thing. And so, okay, here's a funny side note. My car has a rock stuck up in the drive shaft, of which, it had about 12 rocks, but all of them, but about one or two have been removed, thanks to the guys at Carmen's. But it's still up there. So when I go, it sounds like I am dragging tin cans behind my car, and it is so embarrassing. So there's all these people walking around, and there I am driving around that freaking
trying to figure out how to get it out of the circle.
I'm like, I'm so sorry. Anyway, but no, I think in Jackson, because that's our experience, I thought that the field house was a very convenient
it's plenty of space.
Place to get in. So I walk in, and I had to stand in line for, a minute or something while they were getting you checked in. And immediately somebody starts ripping the poll workers' butt about the fact that this is so inconvenient, and when are they going to change the polling places to, where it's convenient for everyone and whatever. And I'm just listening to it, and I'm like, number one, and the poll worker handled it very well. They just said, listen, we have a really hard time with ADA compliance, which the field house is very ADA compliant. And you have to think about this kind of stuff. And these things are legislated now. So he said, number one, and number two, we can't find poll workers. So we had to consolidate. And he was very kind about it. And this person was just not having any of it. It was just like, the poll workers have nothing to do with where the election happens or whatever. If you have a problem, take it up with the Board of Elections or...
I was surprised how many poll workers that they did have while I was there.
I thought it was good. And I thought it was set up really, really...
It's very
convenient.
I thought it was very smooth. So
because there's a lot of people that don't know. Like I'm Franklin, so there's Franklin Township, right? So there's Franklin 1 and Franklin 2. I can never remember which one I am. I remember I'm Franklin 2, but they had the same person working both of those. So I just went up to Franklin and said here. But the poll worker had gone ahead and told me, you know, where I am and all that. They were very kind. I thought they did a really good job.
Yeah. So one thing, kind of unique thing about me, and this is something that I've seen mentioned in kind of national and statewide media as being kind of an issue, and I had no problem with it at all.
Okay.
And that is that my current address is not the same as the address on my driver's license because I moved recently. And so I read stories in like statewide national articles saying that people were turned away from that. And I had absolutely no problem with that. They have a printed out version of the whatever, the like voter registration or whatever.
Yeah.
So they got a big binder. It's all in alphabetical order. They flipped the H, found my name. I gave them my ID, which is a new thing this year. Whether or not you think you should have to show a voter ID is irrelevant here, but they scan the little code on the back of your ID,
scan your ID,
and it shows what you're registered as, and there's no issue. So I had no issue with that, and I
don't know. I thought it was very very smooth. Now, and so here's my second thing that I gleaned from this, and I've never ever had an issue with voting or whatever, but I went in, I did my ballot. And then you have to go and, like you said, you try to put it into the machine and it you needed to flip it
Yeah.
around or whatever, which it should be more specific about
There should
that.
be a big arrow on the paper that says like this way.
Yeah. Like stick it in this way. So the fella in front of me though stuck his ballot in there and the machine like literally blew up. I don't know what it did. It just like froze.
Mm-hmm.
And so a couple of poll workers came over, they got on the phone, they were trying to reset it to no avail. So, but people were like getting mad at this dude. And I'm like, he's
It's
like,
not
I
his
didn't do
fault.
anything. I just stuck in the machine like they told me to. Like they're like getting mad at him. And I'm like, God, people, come on. So anyway, they had a plan B and went and got this like sealed box that had a lock on it.
Yeah.
And then we just deposited our ballots into that. And I'm assuming that when they got, the machine up and running, they put them through or whatever. But don't like seriously, don't get mad and yell at like he was like, I better get out of here. Like people are getting really mad. And he's like, I swear. Oh, I'm like, geez, people, man, take a pill.
I know. Yeah, I was a little surprised how good the turnout was. I don't know what the percentage. I haven't seen a percentage.
I wondered if there was a percentage.
I had to ask Pete about that. But
there were a lot of people.
There was a crowd there.
Yeah,
there was a crowd there. Yeah.
And the good news is you have from like 7 a.m. to like 7 p.m. or something like that, or 6 a.m.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you have a long time to get in there and vote. So
yeah.
Or you can do absentee. You can do early voting at the Board of
Elections.
Elections.
There were like 5,000 or no, over 1,000 people voted early
beforehand.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. In Jackson County. Yeah.
So what does this mean? If you're the national news, it means that, people are evidently voting, for abortion rights and whatnot. I have a hard time getting from one place to the next on that. I think maybe that is in the back of people's minds some, but this was a much bigger issue than that.
Sure.
And I hope that people saw that big picture.
Well, it means that abortion ballot and anything else that finds its way onto an election through that citizens initiative ballot where you go around and collect signatures,
right,
only needs that 50 plus 1 to win rather than 60.
Right.
Whether that's abortion or anything else.
Right. Legalizing marijuana. I mean, there's all kind of stuff that could get put onto a ballot.
Yeah. Like
and that's another one that people
this is like that citizens ballot thing. Like that's just your way as a citizen of Ohio to be active in this stuff. If there's something that you don't agree with, something that you want to change, this is your way of taking action and collecting those signatures and doing something about it.
Correct.
Like that's kind of the bottom line. And, had this passed, then you would have basically been giving up that right to be able to do that.
It would have been.
And, and a lot of people say that like outside money is doing this, that, and the other. Well, and maybe that's true, but it's your responsibility to like educate yourself and recognize those things. And
well, the thing
not
is,
fall for it.
we as citizens can do exactly the same things that outside money can do. It's maybe a little harder because we don't have all of the money. But anyway, it is what it is. The people have spoken. I think that graphic was quite telling about, yes, you're right. The majority of the population evidently, lives in the northeast corner of Ohio.
So I'm looking at Franklin County now, and what did I say how many people did I say voted in Athens County? 13,000
something.
And I was like, I didn't realize there was that many people there. So looking at Franklin County, that's 329,000 people
Voted.
Yeah. So that's a lot more. You know what I mean? So
Is Franklin one of the reds or is it one of
Franklin's Columbus.
I know that,
Smack
but is
dab
that
in the middle.
where the
that
dot
little
is?
dot is, that's Franklin County.
Okay, so they voted no then.
Yeah.
Franklin County voted
Yeah.
no. Okay.
Overwhelmingly so. That's
75%
75% voted no in Franklin County.
Okay. And then
So
the Cincinnati area, I see one down in that.
So I don't know what county. Cincinnati, is it Cincinnati County?
No.
You've
got Montgomery, you've got Hamilton.
Yeah, all right. So Hamilton County, So that's 230,000 people. Almost 67% voted no in Hamilton County. Let's look at Montgomery County.
Which is that red? I'm sure that's the red one.
There it is. So that's 134,000 people. That's almost 61% voting no. I don't know what is Cleveland. I mean, this.
Oh God, Cleveland would be Cuyahoga County,
Yeah,
probably your
Cuyahoga.
main.
So Cuyahoga County is 331,000 people. Almost 77% voted no.
Yeah.
So yeah, lots of people. In
When they
those
voted
counties.
no, they really voted no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So those most populated areas were really strongly in the no. Yeah.
So it is. I don't know. It's interesting that there's a lot of blue-green there, but
Mhm.
yet
Yeah.
the little pockets make the decision.
Yeah.
So you can psychoanalyze that all day if you want to.
Yeah. Well, you can call them little pockets, but they're really big pockets. I mean,
Well,
if you looked at it, the
geographically
speaking,
yeah,
like based on population, which is one person, one vote. It's not
So
one
there you
county,
go.
one vote. It's
Right.
one person, one vote.
Yeah. So, however you felt about it, you're either happy or sad this morning, and there you go.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't think it has anything to do with abortion, but whatever.
Well, we'll probably hear a lot more about that come November.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, and political silly season is already off and running with the presidential election, and you can't say Donald Trump isn't entertaining, if nothing else, because some of the stuff he spews out of his mouth is just like, oh my God. I think he called somebody in a speech. I forget. Anyway, I don't even want to say the word because it had to do with jackass and stuff. So there you go. He's definitely entertaining.
Something. It's definitely something.
And his poll numbers it just continue to climb. I'm like, what is happening?
Don't know, man.
Oh boy. But anyway. So
Yeah.
what else we got?
I don't know. We're talking about hummingbirds today. I mean, that was fun.
So do you get a lot of hummingbirds at your
So
house?
I had put out a hummingbird feeder for the first time at the house in Jackson this year. I mean, I've had flowers and stuff that they kind of like, but never really had a hummingbird feeder before. So it took a little while for them to find it.
Yeah.
They're coming to it quite a bit now.
Aw.
There's at least 2 that hang out there pretty often that I've noticed like recently in the last few weeks.
Yeah.
And I mean they can empty that thing pretty fast. And the ants will empty it too. It's hard to keep those
Well,
things
you
off
need an
of it.
ant moat.
Yeah, I guess I do. But yeah, it's really cool. I'd like to get maybe some more hummingbird feeders and some more flowers and stuff to attract them.
Yeah.
I'm starting to
Anything
see
pollinated,
Yeah.
pollinators I think would be really beneficial to plant.
Yeah, getting into late summer and all the kind of like late summer flowers and stuff like that. I'm starting to see a lot more butterflies and things like that too. So that's pretty fun to see,
It was funny. We were at there's a place in Circleville, and I think I mentioned this when I was there, but called Rhodes Family Market, and it's a really cool, unique store. It's in Circleville. She has a huge nursery, but then they also have like home decor items, and then they have like a little market. They have a huge craft beer and wine section. So it's kind of like a few little markets, into one. But
yeah.
Jamie and I had gone up there to do an event on a Saturday morning, just a beer tasting, and she had just announced that she'd gotten a shipment of the butterfly bushes in.
They love it.
mean, people are losing their minds. Like, they're just hossing carts of those things in because they had to walk past us to get to the checkout. And I mean, people are like, where's the butterfly bushes?
Yeah.
And I used to have a butterfly bush, but it got so out of hand that I had to I had to take it out because it just took over the side of my house. But they are really cool because they do attract all the pollinators and they love them and they're just really pretty in general.
Yeah.
So, but I thought that was so funny.
Yeah. The deer are the big thing for me, man. They just come in and they eat whatever they can get to.
Yes, they do.
Yeah. I mean, they eat the bird seed too.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised they don't drink the bird water.
Or your resident raccoon. Okay. Have you or have you not fed the kitten anymore since your raccoon family?
I did put cat food out once other time, and the raccoons did come back. I moved the little camera. I put the little camera on the bird feeder because I was curious. I mean, I was pretty sure it was a deer, but I was curious what was eating the bird food at night. It was a deer, but I was like, but if a raccoon is climbing up there, like, I gotta see that.
I know. We need video evidence of this.
If that's what's happening, I gotta see it. But yeah, I just got the deer. He just like sticks his head and like licks his tongue through the little thing. It's very funny.
They are a hoot.
But yeah, the raccoons did have been back, just scurrying across the deck. Very funny. But no, I haven't put any more food out.
Probably smart.
There's several little cats that come around though.
Aww.
But yeah, I don't know.
Well, I think it would be really fun. We always had such a plethora of cats at our house that I was always, I didn't want to put out bird feeders and stuff because I just didn't want that to be like fish in a barrel.
Yeah.
Like, but now that our cat population is dwindling down at the Ratcliffe Ranch, I think I'd like to put some stuff out.
You should. Well, and the two little girls that were here today gave good advice. Put them up high.
Yeah.
And your cat's not going to be able to bother them then.
Yeah.
There's one other thing they said today that I thought was, sorry. Talking about your cat catching the birds. My cat caught a lizard yesterday.
In the house?
Yeah. So I've got lots of those little skinks that like live under my deck.
Yeah.
And one of them got inside somehow.
Yeah.
Cecil didn't let it get too far.
Did he?
Oh, yeah. It's gone. So those things like drop their tails when they get scared, you know?
Okay, that's
you didn't know that?
Weird. What?
Yeah. So when they get attacked, they will like shed their tail. As like once so they can get away. Why are you
not laughing at this, Dylan? He's not listening
he's not
to
paying
us.
attention.
Because that would be something that he would like die laughing about. Yeah.
So they will like shed their tail, and their tail will keep wiggling.
No.
To like so if the cat's trying to get them, they drop the tail, and they're scurry away, and the cat will stay with the tail. Right. Well, the tail was nowhere to be found. So I don't know what happened to that tail. I'm scared to death. I'm going to step on it like in the middle of the night.
You're going to find it in your pillowcase or something.
I'm a little nervous where that thing's tail went. But when I had I put the little camera outside that caught the raccoons and stuff. It also got a video of one of those outside cats catching one of those little lizards.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Not for the lizard.
Well, no, not for the lizard, but there's plenty. The lizard population is not hurting.
No, there's plenty.
There's plenty of them little guys.
It's just funny. I don't ever remember those things really living around here, and then all of a sudden, here they come.
I mean, I definitely remember seeing them at my parents' house fairly often. But yeah, I've seen a lot of them this summer.
Yeah. So did I tell you about all of the corgi puppy stealing my tomato?
I don't know.
I love her. I do. So Jamie and I went out and we finally, have some ripe tomatoes, and we picked the very first one, and it was so pretty. And we have like peppers and jalapenos, a bunch of stuff. And so we took a big bowl out and we set that one perfect tomato in the bowl with all the other stuff, and we were pulling weeds out of the garden and whatever, and looked up and there was no tomato. And Olive had taken it and ran across the yard and enjoyed the heck out of that tomato.
Did she have like tomato juice all over?
Yeah, it was there's just a lot of little puppy eating a great big tomato.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. I was like, where did it go? And I look out and she is just going to town on this tomato in the yard. I'm like, whatever. So last night, guess what she got into?
Oh no.
a jalapeno.
Oh, I bet you regretted that.
Well, so I looked at Jamie. I said, I think she has a jalapeno. And he was like, nuh-uh. And so I looked and she did. And she was gnawing on it. And I was like, do I or do I not stop this situation? Because
that might cut her of the habit.
yeah. So you're like sitting there having this like inner turmoil discussion with yourself about, do I let her do it or do I did not let her do it. I took it from her. I had all of these envisions of having to call, MedVet or Dr. Parker or something to come. I've got a puppy here that has I don't know, it's freaking out. So
he would have been fine.
That would have been very painful for her.
Yeah.
Especially considering when you bite into them, it takes like for a minute for them to, like the heat to come. She'd probably have the whole thing eaten.
She might have loved it.
Knowing her, probably.
I loved it.
But anyway, that's my garden woes of the thing. And the deer eating them.
Yeah, the deer will get them.
Came out one day and there was just
carnage.
20 some tomatoes laying on the ground, all green with big bites out of them. I'm like, really? Great. Have your husband pee on your garden. It works. There you go. It's my tip for the day.
All right. Well, we got to get out of here.
We do.
Yep.
Now you know.
Now you know.
You know how to feed a hummingbird and keep the deer off your garden. Yeah.
Yep. No red dye.
No red dye. Red dye bad.
Mm-hmm.
25% sugar, rest water.
Mm-hmm.
Don't cook it. Just feed the hummingbirds with it. Stir it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay. What are we doing tomorrow?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Okay. We'll party, I'll bet.
Yep. We're going to party.
What are we doing, Dylan?
Something with the Benton County National Bank.
Oh, Amanda's back.
Amanda will be here. Oh, what should we do to her?
I don't know. Jason Voorhees, probably. Michael Myers.
We should mess with her. Do we still have that, Malachi from the Children of the Corn?
No, it's long gone.
That would have been so funny if we'd have just brought it up
back.
on the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we can put it back here.
Maybe we can.
All right. We'll get out of here. Have a wonderful day, everyone. We thank you so much for watching. And we will be back here tomorrow with our good friend Amanda. So look forward to that. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.